Dude,
Yeah.
did you guys see Congress voted to ban TikTok?
Let's go.
They
so
voted.
ridiculous.
Which part of Congress? How much of Congress?
I
It was
think
the House.
the House, and I think they
So-
got 80% of the votes,
Yeah.
So now
which
it's
is-
Senate.
which is
there was-
bananas. Let me talk about that a little bit because,
Yeah.
like, dude, the Republican-led House can't approve like basically a Republican border immigration bill. I
Yeah.
can't recall in my life. I'm sure it happens, but like the last time any notable legislation got 80% of the vote.
9/11 shit.
Okay, but usually they get like
Anytime it's giving money to Israel.
The
three
first Ukraine
defectors
vote.
to come over, something like that. And if it's bipartisan, it's 49 Democrats and 4 Republicans or something like that. That's what they call bipartisan. 80% of people agreed to get rid of TikTok. And
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And Biden said he'd sign it like last week.
Biden said he would sign it. Yeah.
So it's not technically like a strict ban. It's they want to divest. They want TikTok to divest themselves of their Chinese ownership.
Yeah,
Which
to be fair, that's exactly right. And what that
thank
means
you.
is that the owners of TikTok will have 2 options. One, allow their product to now be worth billions of dollars less, or B, sell their product to someone else, let the servers be somewhere else. And that's what they're going to do. So they're going to sell. Knowing that they're probably going to sell, how do you invest, Woody? Do you invest in their competitors or do you bet against them in the future?
Shit. I feel like with almost every social platform, the move is not to invest. Like really?
What?
What are you going to invest in?
The
MySpace?
president's about to take a bite out of their
Facebook is the next
fucking milk.
MySpace. It's already like the boomerville of Facebook is what now? Marketplace, some jackass boomers talking about Trump and
Meta.
I think Facebook is still, it's replaced every forum. So if you're into fish tanks, motorcycles, this, that, the other thing, you find yourself on Facebook to find people with common interests.
Sure.
Mhm.
But Facebook is like moving into the rearview mirror, right?
So
Someday
where do we watch our
Instagram
shorts
will.
in the future if TikTok doesn't do it anymore?
Exactly. I guess.
Well, Steve
Threads?
Mnuchin is trying to put some funding together to buy TikTok. That was Trump's Treasury Secretary, and he also he was a movie producer. He produced like Batman v Superman and shit.
So Trump was against this. Trump says leave TikTok alone because he met with this billionaire investor of TikTok and reversed his position. He's for sale.
Yeah.
And now Trump is trying to protect TikTok, which is a reversal.
Yeah, I'd rather see TikTok not get banned. Like it's better
won't
to
get
have
banned.
more out there. It could be though.
No,
Like,
dude,
they want to
No,
move in that direction.
I just told you what's going.
But if the
What's
topic
that?
is what would we want, I think I'm with Taylor. I don't understand the danger.
Okay,
What China's gonna figure out that I think
Okay.
fucking shorts are funny.
Yeah, a bunch of people can say stuff that
So
they
I-
don't like.
So
is the
actually,
danger.
it's no. I think a lot of the pundits on the other side of this would say that China intentionally runs different algorithms here than at home because they're trying to brain rot America. Meanwhile, if you look at TikTok in their country, you might learn how to do your geometry homework better. Here, you'll watch divisive things. You'll watch like race baiting things. You'll watch all sorts of politically charged stuff that really make the country less cohesive when it's the most popular app on everybody's fucking phone.
I'm not gonna watch your geometry app, Kyle. You can't make me. I'll
Yeah.
find a way to brain rot somewhere else.
Listen to this.
Okay.
Kyle wants you to be
When-
doing fucking math,
Yo-
people. He wants you to do math on your phone.
My
instead of
TikTok
looking
would
at
be the
someone's
best of
phone.
both worlds. You'd figure out the circumference of titties. All right. Why would teach you how to measure cup sizes with
Okay, but
geometry?
You're
You'd
winning
be
me
locked
over.
in.
Okay, but everybody here would, I
Make it
assume
your
everybody
own
here would agree
bad at
that,
math.
I assume everybody here would agree that China is an adversarial country, right?
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Is there no concern amongst any of you guys that an adversarial country can send 200 million Americans a push notification anytime they want on an app that they ban in their country? Like you can't go on TikTok in China. You need the Chinese
more
version.
I hear
afraid
your
of-
point,
of
but I have a counterpoint.
Restricting
What if I were to
American
say
speech.
that having open trade deals is critically important with your adversarial countries? The thing that prevents people from going to war is it ruins business. And if you have trade going back and forth like US and China does, that will stop wars.
Mm.
Well, we can
Powerful
keep
people
trading.
will
I-
make sure
I'm
it
not-
doesn't happen.
I'm gonna keep buying the fucking TVs and the tables and the lumber and their bad steel, but they don't get to run their propaganda arm anymore.
That's
But
what I.
it's not
Well,
just
that's the
removing
point.
that,
Like,
it's just, what do you prioritize more? Are you more afraid of China sending a push notification to people, or do you
Well-
prioritize higher, which I would, like the ability of Americans to use an app that they want and have speech on it?
the problem is that it's asymmetrical. So without this ban, you have America allowing this company with a substantial Chinese Communist Party interest to operate freely in the United States to tune their algorithm. Now, I'm not alleging like that they're deliberately tuning their algorithm, but I'm just saying like it's not
We
unfathomable.
do it to them.
And
It was just,
well, no, but we don't though, because they don't allow. You can't go on Twitter in China. You can't go on Facebook
Trump
in
ran.
China.
Oh, I'm not talking about that specific. Trump and the Trump allowed a CIA operation starting in the second year of his term. That was this vast propaganda influencing campaign on their internet to destabilize them and make their government look bad in their people's eyes. If you don't think they're doing the exact same thing, but they don't need to with TikTok. I mean, why wouldn't they?
It wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't shock me. Where are you getting this? Trump, CIA.
I think it's Reuters. Is it Reuters?
Reuters.
Routers.
Trump,
I'm from the
CIA.
South. It's routers.
It's right.
China.
I was on routers.
Yeah.
But
No, I would rather see them not ban a app that a lot of Americans speak on.
Oh, this just came out today, actually.
Yeah.
Trump launched CIA covert influence operation against China. That's interesting. I want to look into that later. But I mean, like, do you guys understand just kind of broadly why there would be serious concerns? Like, if you were looking to, say, destabilize Western nations by undermining faith in institutions and democracy broadly, you can see how having a substantial interest in a major social media platform, the number one social media platform for young people in this country, you could see how that could be like, that could be easily problematic in huge
freely
ways.
acknowledge your concerns and agree that they're valid. I still have a hard time getting past this foundational idea that trade between nations prevents war.
What percentage of trade is TikTok though, Woody? I don't think it's any.
Well, but piece by piece, right? First, we banned TikTok, then they stopped the sale of iPhones, and then we retaliate by doing something else, and then suddenly they're not letting Fords be sold in China because we're going to track their movements. And before long,
please. That's the best trade ever. Both of them? We don't get to sell either of those F-150s? How many Fords do they import? It cannot be many.
I get that it's not a big thing. I'm just trying to come up with examples where, bit by bit, trade gets eroded away.
That example, you would find tariffs on our stuff, and yet peace remains. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you can't.
Tariffs are different than bans.
I feel like it's a tough economic policy, a trade policy, and this is no different. We're not telling them we're not confiscating TikTok, which is what we probably should do. We should fucking just take it from them, because why not? That's what we do. We're saying, hey, you got to divest. That's not cool.
Is China
Sell
involved
your stuff
in BRICS? Is China the C in BRICS?
They're the C.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like I can understand if you're like a young person and TikTok's your main thing, and I do understand kind of like being wary of giving government too much control over social media platforms. It is a bit different because it's not like the United States government has the same level of influence over like Twitter and Facebook than China has over TikTok or China has over their own social media platforms. Like the Twitter files, what did they reveal ultimately?
I think they definitely do. They lean on social media companies all the time. I don't think it's fair to say that's comparable to communist China. Like in communist China, you cannot be a TikTok influencer. And like here in the United States, half of TikTok is people criticizing the United States. You can't do that in China. You can't like make a video criticizing Xi Jinping or Chinese policy when it comes to like the Muslims.
Point. Half of Twitter is people criticizing the United States.
Yeah, you can be like Hassan Piker and make millions of dollars selling America bad to like 18-year-olds, and you can do that. You can
be promoted to the front of Twitch and stuff like that. We're doing it. Yeah,
but you cannot do that in Russia. You cannot do that in China. So I do think like when we look at like the Twitter files, what did we see? We saw like government were they requests, or they were like government requests to like, hey, we think this post is problematic or whatever. And what we found out was like 75% of the time Twitter was saying no. 25% of the time they were doing it, and it had to do with like COVID policy and election disinformation. Like the Trump administration, for example, asked Twitter to take down a Chrissy Teigen tweet that called them a pussy ass bitch. Like that,
Pretty mean.
And
That is pretty mean. Did they
But
do
it's
it?
funny.
they said
They
no.
leave that one up.
In
fair.
China,
I'd leave
in
it up
China,
too.
they don't do requests. They just
Yeah.
take that shit down. So there's a huge, I think, difference.
Wait, who was called a pussy ass bitch?
Trump.
Trump,
Oh,
Chrissy
and who's-
Teigen called him a pussy ass bitch, and the administration reached out to. There's like an email where the administration reached out to Twitter
they
and they
let
asked.
it
I
up.
still don't know who
Some
that
of the
is.
stuff
Is it
that
an
they
actress?
took down in the last election cycle violated Twitter's policies, like against porn and stuff like that.
Do they have policies against porn?
They have policies against revenge.
Collectively.
Revenge porn, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's not porn then. That's something else. They shouldn't
Don't
call
judge
it.
my porn habits.
With the TikTok thing though, like don't you like you want Americans to be able to, maybe they can't share certain beliefs on Facebook that they're allowed to on TikTok.
Well, dissent is really important, I think, for any, especially for liberal democracy. It's like the bedrock. It's like the First Amendment, like the constitutional right to redress grievance against your government. That's obviously like you don't want to stifle that. I don't know if TikTok, like I wouldn't consider TikTok in the same category as like Twitter or Facebook. You can
And
do
even if
that
it
on
were-
Twitter. You can do that on Twitter. You can criticize the government. You can do whatever the fuck you want, essentially.
What they're
Um,
asking TikTok to do will not stifle TikTok's free speech. It will ensure that maybe the CCP isn't writing the algorithm there, though. That's all they're going for.
These are
TikTok's
not
going
reliable.
anywhere.
These are not reliable partners for like Western interests. Like the Chinese Communist Party have a 50-year, 100-year plan in terms of global.
It's not going well for them lately, though. It's been fun.
Well, the
to
real
see that.
estate fucked them up. They had like a big old real estate bubble over there, and it's pretty bad right now. But
I don't think they're over COVID.
Are they
I
not?
don't know.
I think
I know
they're
it
struggling
bounced
with
back.
COVID,
I
and I
just
think
assumed it had settled. I'm sorry. Go
and I
ahead.
think economically as well. And